Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about The Avengers from 2012. And this movie is directed by Joss Whedon and stars The Avengers, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Chris Evans as Captain America, we got Scarlett Johansson as the Black Widow, Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, and Mark Ruffalo recast as the Hulk. Originally it was Edward Norton, but now we have Mark Ruffalo, and I'll say this much, I did like him in this movie, and I enjoyed the performances as I usually do. I do think Robert Downey Jr. does a great job as Iron Man. He's usually my favorite parts of these movies, and Chris Hemsworth is always fun to watch as Thor as well, and Tom Hiddleston as Loki I do really like, and I do like Loki as a character in this movie. He's more fun and entertaining in this one. Like, I find him to be way more fun and enjoyable to watch on screen in this film than in the 2011 Thor movie that he was in previously. Because now he has charisma and he's a memorable character. And this movie has some nice shots in it, and you can tell what's going on in it. And it does feel like it's a movie that does have a lot of long takes that are considered to be money shots. But also, there are points where there are shots where it's just a little too tightly framed and I can't make out what's going on. So, in terms of how it's shot, it's good and kind of misses at points. But overall, I do feel as though it's a good movie as a whole. It's kind of simultaneously better and worse than I remember it being. Like, as time went on, I was starting to think, yeah, I don't know if I would really rate it super highly. Like, I remember loving it when I first saw it in theaters, and it was a blast, and I just loved the experience so much. And then time went along, and we got, like, other stuff, and I started to feel like, I don't know how this one's going to hold up, and I enjoyed it overall. It was in ways better than I remembered, but not as good as how I originally felt when I first watched it. And my biggest issue with this movie would be the lighting. I'm just not a fan of how every scene is lit in this film. It just makes it look like a TV movie, honestly. But there are still some other good things in this movie. Like the visual effects, I think they look pretty great for 2012, and even today, there are parts that hold up pretty well, and the pacing is really quick. It moves, and I don't feel the runtime at all. And it's almost 2.5 hours long, and it just flies by for me. There's like no filler, really. And while there are things that could be improved, like there are points where the dialogue is kind of weak, and I just wish that it just had more to offer me than just like basic. I don't like how information is being presented here, and it's a little corny and silly. It doesn't ruin the movie at the very least, and there's also some implied drama that fell flat for me that I did not care for, and also there was some weird creative decisions that just left me wondering, why did you do this? That's kind of weird. Unfortunately, I can't talk about the particular one that's standing out in my mind because I don't want to get into spoilers. Even though this is kind of like a iconic movie, I don't know if I want to say classic just yet. I feel as though more time needs to pass for that to be considered a classic. Not exactly sure where the line is for a movie to be considered a classic. 50 years, 60? I have no idea. And it is kind of fun watching this movie and kind of feeling, compared to what we get later, this movie does feel a little small scaled because it's six members of the Avengers that I just mentioned, and it's those six superheroes. That's all we have to protect Earth. And just thinking about where we go after, it's kind of like, oh, you're kind of a small team in comparison to later on. I don't really have too much else to say. I felt as though it was a good movie. It was a good time. It's very enjoyable, and it worked pretty well for what I would like to see in a Marvel superhero movie. And the Stan Lee cameo was kind of funny. And I do like the after credit scene as well. That's also something that I do like. And it is fun to see certain characters in this movie and just compare them to how they look in later movies without spoiling anything. And overall, I just enjoyed this one and I would recommend it. So, with all that being said, I'm going to give The Avengers a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of The Avengers, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Dead Man's Wire. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.